Hi everyone, I've gotten a few requests from various plus size women to do a video specifically for them. So this video is for all you big beautiful women out there. Firstly, you might notice that your body might be able to tolerate more reduction than some other girls out there. So when you go onto a website and you see that the company recommends that you buy a corset that's 3 to 4 inches smaller than your natural waistline, for the bigger girls out there whose waistlines are probably above 34 inches naturally, you'd probably be able to tolerate more around 5 or 6 inches smaller than your natural waistline. A lot of big women also tend to be rather blessed up top, so it might be tempting to order an overbust corset as opposed to an underbust corset, just because it would take a lot of the pressure off your lower back and you would be able to support your bust from the bottom as opposed to from the top with your shoulder straps like a bra does. However, I always advise that a person get an underbust corset to start as opposed to an overbust corset, and it is no different for big women. It is rather difficult to get the bust shaping perfectly on an overbust corset unless you're flat as a board. And this can lend to a lot of frustration if you're making an overbust corset yourself. And you'll also find that many corseters, if you have a cup that's larger than about a double D, they might charge more for an overbust corset. So I would advise that it's just easier to start with an underbust corset and wear it with a separate bra. Many women will find that if you're going to be wearing an underbust corset with a bra with underwire, they will tend to get a corset that starts a little bit lower down on their rib cage so that it doesn't interfere and push down on the underwire of their bra. Another thing you can do is just wear bras that don't have any underwire, such as a sports bra or those post-operative compression bras. Those are also really good. Another important thing to remember is the law of displacement. It's not just for water, it's for flesh as well, especially for bigger people. When you put on a corset, your flesh doesn't just squish down and disappear, it does have to go somewhere. So what a lot of corseters do is they might add an inch or so at the top and at the bottom of the corset, at the underbust and at the hips, so that your flesh has somewhere to go. Another trick that I like to do is make the corset have a high back, and that rather cups the sort of back fat, that muffin top that many people might experience, as opposed to just kind of squishing it up. And I will also have the hip line a little bit lower down. It'll just gently cup the flesh as opposed to just squeezing the heck out of it. So I find this to be quite comfortable, and I notice that I have a lot less seeping and oozing of my flesh coming out of the corset this way. In terms of the pattern of the corset, I always prefer my corsets to have more panels as opposed to fewer. My very first custom corset only had 8 panels, but these days whenever I make my own corsets, they tend to have 12 or 14 panels. I find that when you have more panels, you have more opportunity and more places that you're able to customize your corset to really conform to the shape and curve of your body. And this is also important for bigger women as well. If you are making a corset yourself, or if you're hiring another person to do it, make sure that you or they use more panels that are narrower as opposed to fewer panels that are wider, so that you can really have your corset conform to your body. Another important point is boning in your corset. Some corseters recommend putting at least 1 bone every 2 inches around in your corset. So you can imagine that a corset that has a 40-inch waist will have many more bones in it than a corset with an 18-inch waist. So not all corsets will be made equally. If you're going to be ordering a corset online, request double boning. It will be more expensive, but it will be worth it because you will prevent having a lot of wrinkling and buckling and pressure points in your body. If you're making a corset yourself, then try to at least have 1 or 2 bones placed every 2 inches. In this situation, you would probably have to put 1 bone on the center of the panel and another bone on the edge of the panel by the seams. My last word of advice is in terms of your health. There are many large people out there who are still very healthy, so it might not apply to all of you. However, big people tend to carry a higher risk of hypertension, so please watch your blood pressure when you're corseting, especially if you're undergoing a strict waist training program or tight lacing. So hypertension is called the silent killer, so you can't actually feel your blood pressure rising. However, you can take note of other symptoms, such as your heart pounding a little bit harder, swollen feet and lightheadedness. So just take note of that, at least for the first little while you're corseting, until you make sure that your body becomes accustomed to the restriction. So that's all I have to say for now about plus size people and corseting. If you have any other questions in terms of plus size people corseting, or if there are any plus size women out there who can actually contribute more on this subject, feel free to post a comment below. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.